Hello and welcome, dzień dobry, witam wszystkich serdecznie, welcome everybody on stream. And today there will be something special, there will be something super fresh for me, because like, as you know, I am mainly streaming on Polish, because like I am the part of the Polish FGC and there's a lot of people who which are watching me in English, in Polish, sorry, but today I've got somebody extra for you to watch, to talk with, and it is a Mr. Big Boy. 3, 2, 1, boom. Look at him. He's beautiful. He's big. And you know him. It is Mr. Spaggy. But hello.
Everything's working fine?
Okay, give me 1 second, because I have to turn off one thing. It is a compressor. And Jesus Christ, we have to start. Then, okay, at the beginning, guys, do you listen? Do you hear everything correct? There is no problem, no flaws, no glitches. All that stuff is correct. If yes, let's do it. And I guess it seems okay. All right. Oh my God, there is a Spag. Hello.
hello. How are you, man?
Quite okay. I slept well. Like, I don't know, 1 hour ago, because I don't know, I was tired as hell. And also we are like preparing the tournament, as you know, but I decided to make maybe a series from this, talking with the dinosaurs of the FGC, basically, in Europe, and you're one of them, like, I guess the oldest and the biggest one.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And
I mean, it's very good. Thank you.
yeah, and let's start about you, like, when you basically started with fighting games.
Right. Yeah. Go on. Sorry. I thought you. Yeah. First, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. You know, like I don't get to do many interviews, so it's actually cool to be talking to you. And unfortunately, I didn't get to meet you in person in Poland because of my passport issues. But hopefully for the next one, I'll be there, man.
For sure. It's a pleasure for me to, guess you here. But yeah, about the fighting games, because when I'm thinking about Spag, I'm thinking about Tekken. But how it started with fighting games, basically.
So yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, I started, just casually, back in the day when PlayStation came out, the Tekken 3 demo, and I thought, Jin, it was Ling and Eddie, it was my first fighting game was Tekken, and I played the demo and I really liked that game, and I decided I was going to get the full game. And ever since I bought Tekken 3, my first Tekken, I was a Tekken maniac. That's the kind of personality that I have, is when I play something or when I do something that I enjoy, I commit to it like 100%, 110% actually. So my first experience with fighting games was watching my cousins play Street Fighter, but actually my first experience playing was with Tekken. And even all throughout school and stuff, I was known as that guy who really liked Tekken. Even if I wasn't that good at it, I was better than my friends, right? Because I used to play in arcade mode and this and that. I used to play casually, but and online as well back in Tekken 6 and stuff. But I was always that Tekken guy, So yeah, my start in fighting games was really just Tekken, and even to this day, it's the only game that I really play, properly.
Tekken, and you notice that you played, that you played Eddie, and right now you are the Eddie maniac, basically.
Yeah. Ever since the demo, because when the Tekken 3 demo came out, it was the only 2 characters that were available were Ling and Eddie. You couldn't play any other character. I got the full game, and then I started to play Jin a little bit, because he's like the main character, right, of the game. But apart from Jin, when I really liked Eddie, because that was the character that I started with, right? So even to this day, it's the character that I enjoy the most.
Yeah, he's quite unique character. Like even looking at the current Tekken 7 broadcast, like the roast, there is not really there's not a big number of the unique characters, like basically gimmicks. Yeah, we've got like Link, there is Eddie, there is Lei. Maybe we can count Leroy somewhat because of parry, Fang, and that's it. We like when I'm thinking about Tekken, I'm thinking about the maybe actual martial arts, somewhat converted to video game. And like Virtua Fighter was more, I don't know how to describe it. That was maybe the more mature way to describe fighting games and martial arts in game. The Tekken was this arcade, this nice arcade game, and hello, Borisonic Padawan. Hello. and basically, yeah, Tekken is also like, I guess, the main title in Poland. And how about the UK, basically? How the situation rolling? Because in Poland, it is complicated about situation why Tekken is popular in Poland, because we can talk about it in a while. But how situation looks in your places?
I think, when it comes to the Tekken community, relatively speaking, Tekken is quite big here in the UK. But when it comes to just like other esports, on the grand scale of everything, Tekken isn't like obviously that big compared to the other titles that we have. But I think that the community has grown so much since the pandemic, and it's getting up there now. So that we were able to do the Red Bull Golden Letters tournament, and the reason why it was partly because before that tournament, I used to run Red Bull's online tournaments, and they used to get a lot of people entering. The Red Bull guys in the UK really liked the Tekken community and saw that there were a lot of them and they were high level, and thought, what, it would be good to do a bigger major with the Tekken title, because we don't have a lot of stuff. And then it ended up being a huge success. So it shows that actually the Tekken community is pretty big when it comes to the UK esports scene. But I would say, like, when it comes down to it, in general, the bigger esports are probably like FIFA, Call of Duty, your classic kind of big titles. But Tekken is definitely up there too. I think just in general, like it's just that fighting games used to be very, very popular back in the 90s or something, but like now it's more like the children, what are they playing? They're playing more like shooting games, like Fortnite and all these kind of things. So it's just about what's trendy, and right now fighting games aren't really trendy, but despite all of that, the Tekken community is growing quite big in the UK.
But can you see that we are making the full circle right now? Like, look at this. When esports started, there was one title, and there was a Street Fighter 2. With this title, everything's like changed. There was a tournaments in UK, in Germany, in USA, in Tokyo. Basically, in every I don't know, in a lot of places, people started to like fight with each other. There was a district force and all that stuff, and from it, the first big organization started to make basically big tournaments. And then, of course, there is a Halo. There was a lot of different titles, and then a big depression on fighting games scenes. And right now, what we have, it is basically making this from the scratch. But okay. You're saying that you was playing Tekken from Tekken 3. You was a really young child, spamming 3 and 4 with Eddie winning with the friends. But right now you are a commentator, and a lot of memes say that there is a full cycle of being Tekken player. You are a Tekken player, competitive player, burned out player, and commentator, and it is all about you.
Yeah, I mean, so me in commentary is interesting, because in Europe, the kind of streaming tournaments wasn't a big thing, right? If you think about it, back in Tekken 6 times and back in Tekken Tag 2, and there wasn't a lot of people that streamed tournaments. A lot of the big tournaments like Red Fight District, Ultimate Tournament, and Damage Germany, and they're big tournaments, but there wasn't a huge emphasis on streaming them, right? Stream is a new thing, I think, to relatively new. So when I was at Red Fight District one time, it was 2014, and this is all on YouTube, by the way. It's still archived, it's still there. The Red Fight District in Amsterdam, I was a competitive player. Tekken Tag 2 is where I really started to learn the game. And
I know something about that because I also started from Tag 2.
There you go. A lot of people, started in Tag 2 that are doing the thing. But like for me, Tekken Tag 2 was my game where I learned the game properly. And me, Fergus, and a lot of people, we kind of learned the game then. And I had a very big drive to compete. Maybe because I was younger or because I had that drive. It was new to me. I was learning the game and I was like, wow, I want to learn as much as I can. I want to be the best. And it came to a point where I actually was considered to be like maybe top 3 in the UK, you know, in Tekken Tag 2 times. I was beating a lot of people. I placed very well in tournaments. I traveled internationally more than any UK player. I was the guy that was traveling to European tournaments, Sweden, France, Netherlands, Poland. I went to Poland for Tekken
Yeah, I
Tag as
know.
well, for Tekken Tej, you know, in Poznan. So, like, I went to a lot of different places, and but for commentary, like, it's weird because they didn't have European majors didn't have any commentators. I remember the guy came to me and he said, "We're doing a video for YouTube. We need commentators that speak English. We don't really have many English speakers here, so do you guys want to do it? I know you come from the UK." And I said, "Oh, yeah, okay." I didn't think about commentary ever, but I thought I stream Tekken, right, on Twitch, so maybe I'll be good at it. So I sat down and had my friends with me, with the CKT guys, you know, our Cool Kills table. We had a little group, me, Fergus, and other people, and we did commentary. I did commentary. That's the first time I met Gurlanda as well, Tishimon and these guys. And I did commentary, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, actually, because it was so different to playing the game. I was actually able to analyze and watch and enjoy other people competing, and I found that it was something that I really enjoyed. Even when I was competing myself, I actually really enjoyed watching other people compete too. So that was the first time I ever commentated, and then, you know, a couple other majors, you know, Ultimate Tournament and other things like I did commentary at. And then obviously when Tekken 7 came out, I remember that the production team that was doing Tekken World Tour, Unequal Media, they were looking for commentators and said, "Hey, you guys want to commentate for the World Tour? Do an application for the commentary." I know Bubsy, who is my oldest commentary partner. He said he told the Unequal Media guys that, "Hey, you know, this guy Spag is the guy you want. He's been doing commentary more than anybody in Tekken." So they gave me a chance. I did commentary at Versus Fighting 2017 for the Tekken Master event. And then after that, you know, my first time ever traveling for commentary to get paid to go somewhere like Barcelona. I went to Lyon for France, and it all started from there, man. And, you know, the community really supported me and Bubsy when we were starting out. Because look, the European community wasn't very well known. So, you know, me and Bubsy, our job was to teach people about our community. And I think it was fun. It was fun doing that. It was an honor, actually.
Yeah, it's this really interesting because you started really good. I can say momentum, because before Tekken 7, it was really hard to basically stream Tekken because you have to have the console, then capture card, and capture cards was really hard to get to buy. And when Tekken 7 arrived, the big organizations there was a big need for the big request for the commentators, for the good people who are basically into Tekken, into this system, because, you know, there's a Red Bull, a lot of companies, and you was on the place, and it is super fun, and I guess it is the reason why people are calling you Big Daddy, and it is the reason why Kershia loves you so much. Basically, the same with Skyter Rush, who is watching us, of course. But okay, you played at Tekken tournaments a lot. You played. My God, this stream is good lesson for me because I am like polishing my English. But
good, very good, very good.
But okay, like, you was a Tekken player. What was your biggest fuck up during the tournament?
My biggest in Tekken Tag 2 or Tekken 7?
Basically Tekken. Basically Tekken.
My biggest F up in tournament was against Rip at Dame Germany. It was, I remember, and this is the only time I've actually been genuinely upset in a match, because it was the last game of the day. I commentated all day, and it was for top 32. And I remember, like, they said we're going to end the stream on the day with Rip versus Spag, and I thought, okay, I've played him before, and I've beaten him so many times, right, in casuals, but like, I thought that, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I know I'm a bit tired. It's midnight, but I'll play. I think I'm confident I can do this. And I got really nervous, super nervous. My heart was racing. Rip was whiffing a lot in my face, and I just wasn't punishing. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, how I'm not playing Tekken. I'm mashing. I'm panicking. I'm not able to. And that was probably the worst tournament nerves I've ever had. And I would say that was probably the biggest F up I've had. Other than that, I can think of Strong Style when I was in America. Back then, this was season 1. PC and PS4 was so different in terms of the lag, and I was practicing many times on PC. I was mainly on PC, and even when we were practicing before the tournament in America, we were playing on laptops. So I was kind of used to the timing on PC. There was a huge lag on PS4 at that time, which they fixed later on. But in season 1, it was such a massive difference between the input lag of PS4 and PC. So I remember playing on stage. I got a hop kick with Katarina. I did the combo. And this would have been the set. I would have won the entire set if I did this. I did hop kick, tailspin, and I had rage. So I was gonna do dash into rage art. And I did the dash rage art, but the dash didn't come out because of the PS4 timing. I rage art, I whiffed the rage art, and I died.
Oh my
and
god.
I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, again, it was on stream as well, embarrassing because, you know, I was like, this was a tournament. This is a match I should have won. I should have definitely won that one. But, you know, there's been a couple of tournament hiccups here and there. But yeah, in general, I think that it's just in Tag 2, I used to have a little bit tournament nerves, but I got better at it as time went on. But in Tekken 7, I just haven't played in tournament enough to be able to get over the nerves. I think it's a very big part of tournaments that people don't really think about. That's really important, is being able to play your natural self when you're in tournament, to ignore
Yeah,
the fact
it is super hard to get, to be honest. Like, you know, I'm also playing tournaments, of course, in Poland. Like, in this year, I'm going to for my first international tournament to the UK. But looking at the tournaments, I remember my first tournament. That was basically sick stuff. That was the start of the Tekken 7. That was probably the first event in Poland, and that was my first tournament in life. And there was an event, and there was a spot, like little island, you know, with the consoles. That was Tag 2, and at this moment I was like, you know, the young child. I didn't have the PS4 or Xbox One, and I was only thing I was doing, I was playing Tag 2, yeah, Jun and Jin, spamming and mashing, and I remember that I sit to those consoles and I was playing with people. I beat a lot of them because, you know, I was like maybe better scrub than scrub, but still scrub. And I remember that this day one guy approached me and he asked me, "Are you playing Tekken for real?" And I answered to him, "Yes, of course," because I was watching my man, and I think that I am the player who is thinking about Tekken, who is maybe not that bad in Tekken. I won one game versus him. Then he won 30 games in a row.
Wow.
That was Devil.
Devil. I see. Okay.
That was Devil itself. That was my first touch with Devil. After this experience, I went to the tournament, and at this tournament I played versus one of the Polish players, SMS, who was playing Kuma. He basically destroyed me as hell because I never played versus Kuma. Then I played versus somebody, I don't remember who. That was, you know, very fast, but to go to the home. But Jesus Christ, this first touch with those people, this stress, all of that was something I will probably never forget. And like after this, a lot of time, there was a lot of time, like out of tournaments I was part of. I was making tournaments, I was playing on the tournaments, and I guess like maybe today, if I'm going for a tournament in 2022, I'm able, for the first times in my life, to basically calm down on the tournament and just play, like, you know, wear the headphones, launch some, I don't know, heavy metal or rap, and basically play my game. And Jesus Christ, that was so long, it is like about 10 years to achieve this point, to basically be able to calm down. And what do you basically... Okay, maybe in other words, because, you know, I am not native. What is your... Okay, you time traveled to, I don't know, 2040, and you have option to give one tip about Tekken, playing Tekken to Spag. What it is?
Okay. So if I was going to go back into time and give myself advice to play the game in tournament or something, is that what you're saying? Like...
Yes, of course.
I mean, I would say that you know, my preparation for tournaments and learning the game, I think it was pretty solid. I had a lot of good guidance back in Tekken Tag 2. I don't think that, you know, going back, I would tell myself to do anything different. I mean, honestly, like I really enjoyed learning the game the way that I did, and even to this day, I don't really play like I don't lab or anything. I'm going all the way I play now is all based on what I learned in Tag 2. I don't lab this game. I don't play this game in tournament. I don't practice or anything. I just turn on the game sometimes when I stream, and I play decently because, you know, my preparation and my passion for the game in Tag 2 was just that high. I was always playing, and if I wasn't playing, I remember if I was at university when in Tag 2, if I wasn't able to play, I was watching streams. I was watching the Koreans in Green Arcade, and watching John Ding and other people, and seeing who, if you know, sometimes, for example, like let's say if I'm playing Jinpachi, someone will tell me, oh, there's a Jinpachi player playing right now, deathmatching on stream in Korea. So I'll tune in and I'll see if I can find anything that they do that I can learn from. So I feel like my preparation and everything was done really good there in Tag 2. I think that if there was one thing I could tell myself to do back in 2017 though, is to probably just work a bit more on my YouTube, because I think that was something that I missed out on because I was studying back in the day in 2017 when the game came out. But I would have liked to carry on doing stuff with my YouTube because I got a lot of knowledge, and I think I haven't done a really good job in imparting it, in teaching people, right? I do it really well on my stream, but I don't do it on YouTube, and I think that's what I need to do. And I also feel like one thing I needed to do was to 100%, this is one of the biggest things, is to record more of my journeys of Tekken 7, like traveling the world.
Yeah, this year started to do it, and it is also really awesome to watch.
And he started to do it in 2020, right? So like, and look, I was going to do the same thing. So in 2019, I traveled more than I've ever traveled. I think 2019, I could say, was probably the best year of my life. I think 2019, I could say, was comfortably the best year of my entire life. I've never had a better year. Like, I traveled to so many. I have a list on my phone of the different places I've been to just in that year, right? I can try and show you. So in 2019, I went to Italy for Napoli for the tournament. I went to Germany for Dame Germany in Dusseldorf. I went to USA for an exam, and I ended up going to NLBC in New York City. I went to France for Lyon. I went to Sweden for Headsompa. I went to Denmark. I went to Belgium, Switzerland. I went to for a tournament. I went to Canada for my friend's wedding. I wasn't able to go to Evo because I went to my friend's wedding, which I don't regret. His wedding was amazing. So I went to Canada, got to experience that. I went to Poland. I went to Łódź for the master event there.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, I went to Ireland. I went to France again for UFA. I went to Germany again for Berlin Tekken Clash. I went to Greece. I went to Korea. I went to Pakistan.
Nice.
I went to Jordan in Amman, the Middle East. I went to UAE, Dubai, and then I ended up with Thailand. So I went to Thailand in the end for the finals, and it's like, look at all the traveling I did, and in my head I was thinking, I should have. In my head I was thinking when I was at these places, it would be good for me to record certain things, maybe do vlogging and stuff.
Yeah, of course, it would be huge.
In my head I was thinking, I want to enjoy the experience. I don't want to worry about, you know, recording everything and stuff.
Yeah, and also you also can feel some kind of cringe doing it, yeah. And at this moment, and if you are going back to home, and there is that idea that, oh my god, I fucked up. There was a lot of content to make.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this, you know, it would have been good. Like, if I'm looking now, I planned to do my content, the vlogging, in 2020. Before I knew of COVID, I didn't know about COVID, but I thought, okay, look, I bought a gaming laptop, and that gaming laptop was so that I could stream tournaments, some stuff at tournaments.
And I did videos of that.
And edit videos, of course. Yeah. So I bought that laptop in 2020, like January, or maybe like end of 2019, just so I could, you know. Never got to use it. My brother uses it now. My brother uses it for his work. But like I have never used it pretty much. The only time was when I went to Ukraine for that one tournament last year. But I've never really used it. But my intention was to do the traveling and to do the vlogging. But you know, God had a different plan. He's like, you know what, you're gonna have to stay home now, and there's no traveling anymore. And I miss it. But I am going to cherish those memories of traveling for the rest of my life. I mean, 2019, like I said, it was the best year of my life. And I think that even in this pandemic though, like there's been positives from it, you know, even if a lot of it was negative, there's been positives. So there's that. I think the community grew a lot. I don't know about Poland, but in UK,
Yeah, of course.
it grew a lot.
A lot of people in Poland really buffed up, and I guess it is the reason, like, you know, before COVID, we was like playing tournaments, you know, there was some kind of hype, but during these lazy days, during the COVID, during the lockdowns, people were searching for things, and a big part of them was basically playing Tekken in some part of their lives, and they basically come back to it. And yeah, our scene really buffed up. You know, you saw not once, or Karadolf, Friesen, Y, Bati, and a lot of or good players like Wakome, for example. But yeah, you are also like really supportive to Polish and Pakistani scenes, and it is something interesting for me. Like, why you are so supporting for Polish scene? It is curious.
Okay, so Polish scene is something that I've always looked up to. So I got to learn about the competitive scene in Tekken 6 when I used to watch like Aris, Rip, and the American scene. Then I got to learn about my European scene and how strong we are. And one of the things that I saw was Devil traveling to Italy and to different tournaments, and I never saw him lose. I mean, he inspired me. I was like, wow, this guy is amazing, right? And him and Matt JF, and it's like watching those two, huge inspirations for me. And I thought, damn, like I would love to one day meet these guys and play them and chill with them and stuff. And unfortunately, I only got to meet Devil once, but you know, even that one time was really super cool. And being able to watch him, I always got so excited to watch him. He had one of my favorite playstyles. I used to love watching Devil, man. And Matt as well, like having played him, like the dude was insanely strong. But then I also got to meet people like Tenchi Mitsu and other people, and like seeing the passion that she had to organize tournaments, and then the people who did the master event in Poland as well, Bart and the team, and it's just amazing. Like, so I mean, I look at the Polish scene and I see that you guys have also supported me a lot and been super nice to me. And when we went to Poland, I think everyone's always had such a great time because the scene is so friendly to people who are international that come down. So you know, it actually very surprised me a lot when we went to Poznan for the first time in Poland. It was my first time, and it was just such a beautiful city, beautiful people, and just the tournament as well. Like Tenchi Mitsu made me really want to start getting into organizing. So, you know, I'm not just a commentator. Obviously, you know, like I do organizing tournaments as well. I've organized my own tournaments. I've organized online tournaments. I've organized tournaments for UIU. I've organized exhibitions. And then, of course, the biggest one I've ever done, you know, was the Red Bull tournament. But the Tekken Tag 2, even in Tekken Tag 2, I organized a huge major, you know, with people. So, you know, it's always been a thing that I would love to do, is to organize tournaments as well as commentating, give back to the community, right? So, yeah, it was something that I got actually a lot of, I could say, confidence and inspiration for competing by watching Devil and Matt, and a lot of confidence and in organizing by watching Tenchi Mitsu and learning from her, and seeing her passion made me passionate as well, you know. So the Polish scene is, and knowing that you guys have been organizing tournaments since Tekken 3. I mean, Tenchi was telling me
I heard about this, that Tenchi Mitsu made tournaments in Tekken 3 times, and it is awesome for me. Like, Jesus Christ. In this age, I was like, I don't know, that was 1998, something like that?
Yeah.
And I born in 1994.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man. And it's like, you know, regardless of how big I am or how big other people are, whatever, like, the most important thing to do is to never ever forget who actually built the community, the scene, before I got into it, before we got into it. And it's people like Tenchi, it's people like these guys, these old school people who, like in the UK, we had Chef and a bunch of other cool like old school guys, Dinosaur, Starscream, and Ryan Hart, and all these big names, the Cobra Commander. These guys are the ones that, you know, built the scene up in Tekken for us in the UK early on, before I was even around. And then, you know, so we have to give a lot of respect to all those people. And yeah, like I said, the Polish scene is one that has inspired me. And when I went to Poland for the Poznan tournament, as internationals, like me, Fergus, and the other guys, we were treated so well by the community, by Karolov, by Devil, by Kotlaska, by everyone that came, and they always said hello and you know, how are you doing, you know, made sure that, you know, that we felt welcome. And you know, the tournament is one thing, but outside of the tournament, it was just all love, you know. So, and that's how it's always been every time I go Poland. So it's one of my favorite scenes, 100%.
Yeah, the whole experience is really important. And, you know, talking about this experience, Super Akuma, Joka, Gosen told me a lot about being shocked during the Vigilant tournaments, the previous one, because they don't, like, there was not unprepared for such community, such emotions, like, you know, being gladly invited to the tournament. A lot of people was basically cheering for them, talking with them. Everybody wants to play with them. Like, I don't know, maybe it's not something standard for the, you know, European scene, but in Poland, like, we've got really big culture of offline sparrings, and I guess that will be a good idea for you to maybe not only go for the Vigilant tournament, but also maybe go to the Poland for the Fighters Dojo with Cheerio to basically feel the actual FGC experience of Poland. You know, to basically talk with all these people, to feel that's, you know, this flavor of Polish FGC, because tournaments are tournaments. Yeah, people are like stressed, people are focused on being the best, beating the people on the stuff. Then they are sad or happy, as we know, because there is only one winner. And this FGC vibe is super fine and natural in Poland. And how about UK, and about, you know, offline scene, about culture of playing offline in fighting games? How it's working?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be amazing. You know, I've been surprised every single time I go to Poland. It's like, you know, commentating the tournament, you always have like a big crowd of people. The way that they've done the major,
in which
the Witch Major, the Master event. The way they have it set out is that they have two separate rooms, right? And then they have the casuals and the tournament in one room, and then they'll have like the main huge
scene.
room.
Yeah,
they put a lot. Yeah, they have a lot of their resources put to that room, and I like that a lot, because it, you know, watching a lot of the Polish people come just to view the matches, just to watch. They don't even necessarily care about playing, but they just want to. They're big fans of the game, and being able to see all these big players play, and the energy. You know, this is not normal. You don't get that. Like, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to the UK, we don't have that same energy. We don't, and this is not me talking bad about my scene. It's not the case. But I'm just saying, we as people are not the kind of people to be shouting and screaming for anybody. You know, like, if there's a UK person doing well, we will get loud. But if it's just, you know, like, even if it's Anakin versus Joey Fury playing, like, you know, there'll be a few claps here and there, but it wouldn't be like, yo, let's go.
Yeah, I remember the moment when Tishimon was making his fucking insane comebacks with Master Raven. There was one match, then he made 3 or 5 comebacks with 1 pixel on stream, and crowd was like I don't know how to describe even this thing. There was so fucking loud plays, and he was commentating this.
Yeah, there was some crazy matches there, but you know, I love the energy, and as a commentator, that really helps as well. It really helps to hear the energy of the crowd, and it makes you get hype as well. If the crowd gets hype, I'm automatically going to get louder too, and that's something that you don't get with online tournaments, man. That's why I've missed you know, the whole offline thing, because it just is so easy to commentate offline tournaments because of the energy. It keeps you going. Doesn't matter how energy you have. If you've got less energy, if the crowd can give you that energy, right? So that's something that I always really enjoyed going to Poland for, because I think it's France is kind of similar a little bit, but Poland is the one that has, for me, they'll cheer for anyone. They'll cheer for any game. If it's a good game, they're gonna cheer for it. Obviously, if you got Polish people playing, they'll be even louder. But the good thing I like about Polish crowd is that they are loud for anything, because they just like good ass Tekken. You know what I mean? Like, if there's good ass Tekken on screen, they're gonna get loud. And so yeah, I've always really enjoyed going to tournaments just for that. And yeah, outside of that as well, like you said, the overall experience means a lot. It's very important, and I think I was shocked, and a lot of other people were shocked, just how polite and kind and hospitable and, you know, cool everybody is, you know, just you know, in the FGC.
Hi Robson, okay, we've got Robson on the chat, and I guess you know him because you know Tenshimitsu, and they are somewhat connected, maybe even strongly connected.
yeah, man, it's good to see him. Man.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, maybe next question, because like I'm thinking about all of that we are talking about today, and we talked about tournaments, we talked about being a player, we talked about a lot of stuff. How about making content? What do you think about it? Because in my opinion, if we look at the whole Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken 7 lifespan, there is only one big winner of making the content. It is a main man. You can like him or not. It is like, you know, personal opinion, but Jesus Christ, he's huge. Like, if you are searching for the things about Tekken, Mayman is the first person you will find. And you are also the content creator. You are the guy who is making, like, basically streams, content for people. Did you analyze his success? Did you think about this?
Yeah, 100%. Look, back in the day, look, first of all, big shout out to Main Man. He's awesome, a very nice guy. If you ever met this guy in real life, you'll see just like how nice he is. Of course, the thing about him as well is content. This is related to content, right? So I'm not just going off the rails, but as a content creator, you got to know that there's going to be people that hate on you, and there's going to be people that like really like you. And he has probably just the same way that he has a bunch of people that really love him, he also has a lot of people that really hate him. And his attitude and the way that he's kind of gone about things, and still been able to go about and do his content despite all of the hate that he gets, is very admirable. So and I've said to him, bro, I actually don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do that, because he's a bigger name than I am, and he's like maybe not in the tournament scene, but in the Tekken scene, he's so well known casually and in the serious people, and he gets a lot of hate. So, you know, it's good. That's something that you're gonna have to be prepared for if you're making content and you're kind of making content on a big level. You're always gonna get people hating on you no matter what. So I mean, big shout out to him for that. But like, just in terms of his success, look, I knew back in Tekken Tag 2 that the Tekken community and globally had such a big casual scene. Like, and I always used to think to myself, why doesn't that casual scene play in the competitive scene? Why is the competitive scene so small, but the casual scene is so bloody big? There's so many people that watch Tekken, that play Tekken. The sales of the games are good. Millions of copies sold. Where are those people in our competitive community? You know, and you know, things like the Tekken World Tour and Tekken 7 really blew that up. You know, we got a lot of those casual guys coming in. But it's just the same with content. Main Man showed that, you know, there are a lot of people that are actually interested in this game and watch content as well, you know, on YouTube and in other places. So
they were searching for some kind of the resources to like learn from, yeah. Because if you think about, for example, if you think about Street Fighter, there is a bloody gigantic tutorial on Reddit which is named the Zangief Gym, and you can learn everything about this game from the beginning to the end, and there was nothing about that compared to Tekken.
You know what's funny is that one of the videos that I watched when I was learning about what frame data is, I didn't know what frames were. I watched Main Man's tutorial. I didn't actually know what frames were. I had to learn it. I learned by watching the Main Man.
But we all like learn from Main Man, and it is nothing to feel bad about it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just so some people might be surprised because they think that I've been in the scene for a very, very long time. Actually, Main Man's been like at a competitive level for way longer than I have. Right? He was playing much better than I was back in the early Tag 2 and then Tekken 6 times. He knew more about the game than I did. But then obviously I started to be a massive nerd and started to learn back more in Tekken Tag 2. But he's been doing content, and look, he was the first to do it for pretty much one of the first to do it. And because he's been around for such a long time and his content is really good, he has been rewarded by getting all of these subscribers. And when Tekken 7 blew up as a big game, shout outs to Ban Namco for creating such a good game, because without that the game wouldn't have blown up as much as it did. If we had Tekken Tag Tournament 3 or something, I don't think it would have been as big. But Tekken 7 has been huge, and all of the content creators have been rewarded for it. I think I've
also
been
supported,
for
yeah.
it, but and supported. And the content creators have been getting a lot of subscribers from it, and that's why I feel like one of the things I said earlier on in the interview that I regret not kind of pushing more YouTube things. I've had a lot of time to do my YouTube stuff, but I didn't do it because I just didn't want to. I was like, I kind of want to just do more, organization, tournament organization, and more, commentary and stuff. But that doesn't really get you the casual audience to get to know who you are, right? And people know who I am because I commentate on big tournaments, but commentators should also do like content as well. And I'm looking to do like more YouTube things now. I'm actually working on a video currently, so I'll hopefully get that out in the next few days.
yeah, and also as you remember, I've got the shorts oh my god part to my video from you, but I guess I will start it after some interviews because I want to maybe like collect more English speakers to my channels. But Jesus Christ, like, look at this. There is not a big group of the commentators, of the people. If you're thinking about Tekken right now, there is like, I can maybe found 10 players, 10 personas who are like connected to Tekken because of the commentary, because of the tournament, because of the hype of the stuff. And it is strange for me that those people are not making the content. Aris is good example of such player who is making this content all the time, yeah? Like, look at him, he was a player, he was a quite good player, and people don't really remember about it, but he was quite good player. Then he started to, then he went to the commentary, then he burned out from reasons he has, and right now, like, he's making his content, and I guess if Tekken 8 or any other title will be huge, he will basically come back because Tekken has one unique thing for me, which is super attractive for people in my age, and my age is right now 27. This thing is that if you invest your time in Tekken, that will pay for you in time, because Tekken is legacy heavy title. If you played in Tekken 3, 5, 6, Tag 2, if you have any knowledge, this knowledge probably works right now for you, for your advantage. And thanks to it, we have, for example, Body from Italy. Yeah? Body is 15 years old. Jesus Christ. He's like in age of my father. Because my father is 51 or 52. And he's playing competitive Tekken and he's non-stop in top 8. And it is super unique for me because I talked like a week ago with one of the both has 44 years. Oh, okay. Then sorry, because I think that he has 50. Jesus Christ. Okay, but back to the track. I was talking with one of the retired Polish Counter-Strike pro player who is in my age. He's 27 and he's retired because his reaction is not such good, and basically that's he was told from his organizers, from his sponsors, that he's too old to invest in. It is better to go for the younger people. In Tekken, right now, I can see that Michał, not Michał, but Sefi and a lot of people in age close to the 30 and higher are starting to being like sponsored. They are going for the tournaments, and it is insane for me. Like, Jesus.
I mean, look, Knee is like, what, 35?
Yeah, the same JDCR.
And JDCR, so like these guys have been, are still at the top of the game, and, I think raw reaction times are not as important as learning the actual animations for certain moves. So when people say about Call of Duty, sometimes you need like raw reactions just to be able to compete at that level. But if your reaction time does dwindle a little bit, it's more about the mind game. It's more about reacting to animations.
And I guess it is mainly about the mind games. Look at the Daigo. I guess Daigo is not able to react for everything like 20 years ago when he started playing like Street Fighter 2 and 3, but right now he is able to make like YOLO Shoryuken, and he will always hit because he saw this situation so many times, and it's working basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that. Actually, it's so crazy you mentioned this because I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking,
nice.
Damn, dude, in 2 months' time, I'm gonna be 30 years old. I mean, that's crazy to me. I mean, like, wow, 30. What the hell? Like, where did time go? You know, but is it weird that I still play Tekken? Like, if I'm gonna get married soon, like, and I probably will get married soon, like, is it weird for like a married 31-year, to play the game? Like, Blackbeard is a massive inspiration for me as well. A legend of the EU community, and he's like in his mid-30s, and he's got 3 kids, and he managed to compete, and he qualified for the Tekken World Tour Finals in 2017. He qualified. He's one of the few Europeans that have qualified for the finals, and he had 2 kids at the time, or maybe he had 3 at the time. I think 2 kids at the time, right? So he's a big evidence that if you put in the passion, if you put in the work and you have the passion, you can be at the top of the game, right? So yeah, it's a game that I like because of that as well. Like you said, it's but that has a little bit of the fact that our game has such a older audience is in itself a little bit of a bad thing too, because when it comes to getting sponsors for the game, for the world tours, these companies actually usually look for
views,
kids. They look at what the kids are playing, because the majority of people that are playing games are kids, right?
Yeah, so, and looking at the fighting games, it is super wide group of people, because you can fight 14 years old guy and also 50 years guy, and it is whole spectrum of the players, and it is hard to basically sell them something, because selling stuff for such wide spectrum of players is super hard.
Yeah, like what a sponsor is going to be like, okay, so we need to, like,
maybe Red Bull.
Red
Bull Monster or something like that, yeah.
But it's really hard to come up with a sponsor that will be like, yeah, we're aimed at the 40-year-old, 30-year-olds, and the 14-year-olds. Like,
maybe
we don't
chips.
have a lot of we haven't got a lot of kids playing the game, but that's another one of my aims, is to try to see how can I get more younger people involved with playing the game. And I think that the best way to do that is to just create hype, show people how amazing Tekken is and how hype it is. And I think that I've done a good job with that, and the whole Pakistan thing is a whole different thing, that's a completely different story.
I will ask about this later because I'm prepared for this.
But one of my big things that I wanted to do in order to promote the game is to have EU versus USA, and I think that I'm at the front line for that. I'm the guy who's kind of promoting that at the moment. I'm the guy that's pushing it out a lot. So that's something that I'm trying to promote, and we're going to be doing it at Combo Breaker on the Friday, hopefully.
I know. I heard about it, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that a lot of people are going to be hyped about, and maybe people will join the community from that, because I joined the Call of Duty competitive community. I don't play the game, but I watch the game because of EU versus USA. I was never interested before, but when I saw that there was UK teams versus USA teams, I wanted to watch it. And maybe there'll be other people that are like, oh, there's Tekken. EU versus USA.
It is some kind of the national pride, yeah.
Exactly, and that's why EU Tekken is so interesting, because USA, there's not that same amount of pride between New York versus NY versus
California
Atlanta,
or something, yeah.
California versus Georgia, or something like there's not the same as like Italy versus France, or Poland versus Germany. It's not the same, right? So I mean, that's one thing as well that I think that I've been trying to push a bit more, is like country rivalries and regional rivalries between UK versus whoever, EU versus USA. Let's get that going. And I think Red Bull was the first step. now the next step is, you know, obviously I've been talking a lot of shit this whole time. I've been like, yeah, you guys are free, we're the best, blah, blah, blah. And it gets people talking, you know. I got a bit of a name now in this community, so when I say something, people kind of listen to it. So I'm able to be like, hey, you know, you guys are free. And they're like, wait, Spag called us free? You guys are free.
Know your place, trash.
Yeah, you know your place. And I don't mind that. Like,
and I owe
actually
Richie,
want
of course.
yeah, and then Richie did his thing. Yeah, this is your place. Yeah, like I don't mind when people come at me and say, Spag, you're an idiot, you're wrong. Like, you know, I want them to say that. I want them to talk about it because this is all entertainment at the end of the day.
It is
So,
like,
yeah.
silent, I'm making the setup.
Yeah, exactly. We're sending it up, man. So I can't wait for that one. That's going to be cool too. It's all about just trying to promote the game, man, and see how we can do that.
Yeah, but
even if
it is fucking hard to basically sell fighting game to people. Like, even right now, like, you know, we are organizing the Vigilant Fighting Club and we are like collecting the sponsors. And it is really hard because for the first point, it is a niche. Like, it is better to go to for the LoL, Counter-Strike, all that stuff than for the fighting game because it is not the family-friendly content. And the second thing is that we are too small to make something, and I guess it is the big problem in the entire European scene for the Tekken, for making for fighting games at all, that if you don't have any super big sponsor, you're unable to make anything because, like, people are saying that FGC is not esport, but in my opinion, it is not like FGC is not esport, but it's different type of esport, and this type of esport is not really like understandable for the sponsors, for the people who are like paying for content, for entertainment. And I guess merging the entire Europe is basically the best way to do it. And look for the players like, I don't know, Borisonic from Ukraine, look for the Ultra Instinct Potato from Georgia. They are like traveling through the entire Europe to basically show people that, okay, hello, I am on the tournament, I am in top 8 and I am from this country. This country is maybe not big, but you can visit us for the next tournament and see what we are doing. And the same with Leonidas from Malta, the same with Novi from Serbia. There's a lot of players from the niche regions and they are making the thing. Like Kira. Yeah? He's one of, I don't really know, did I know any other player from his country than Kira. Like, don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. I knew one other guy from Switzerland, but Kira, you know, he was one of the guys back in Tekken Tag 2. You know, he started the game back then, and he asked me. I remember he asked me, like, you know, Spag, I want to get good at this game. Can you help me get good and learn and you know, now it's come to the point where this guy's playing better than me. You know, like it's one of those things where I'm just so happy for him. You know, like he's done a great job and you know, it's all throughout just his own effort and
he's super kind guy, really. Like, I talk with him and he's super.
Yeah, he's a very cool guy and he's got a good mindset as well with the game, so that's why he's improving so quickly.
Yeah, and
but yeah, like
mindset is also really important. I want to talk with you about this because maybe without spoiling our video, like when you are thinking about fighting games, about tournaments, about getting good, what in your opinion is the type of the mindset you should approach to, like how you're thinking about game, being competitive, learning the game should change to start basically winning, not in terms of winning the games, but to feel that you are better and better. I will spoil you that Borisonic, like, he's my teacher from long time right now, and he learned me one funny thing, that when I am learning something new, without thinking that I won or lose, when I like launch my stream, play 2 hours or 3 hours, and I, for example, lose 50 games, but I learn one punish, I am better than I was day ago. And because of that, like, I don't really feel the frustration when I'm going for the tournaments. If I won, I won. If I lose, I've got content to look at, to basically analyze my mistakes and get good. And Jesus Christ, I can feel that I really play a lot better than, you know, two years ago when I was starting the streaming, for example. And yeah, something changed. Like, you know, I changed the type of thinking. And how about you? What is your tip to the players who like, you know, respecting you, watching you, about being competitive and getting good?
One thing that is obviously what you said is perfect, right? Like you want to learn, you know, people. So this, so many people have come to me saying, "Spag, I feel like I've hit a wall. I'm not improving anymore." They improve really quickly and then it just stops. The reason is because the more that you improve, the harder it becomes to improve, the longer it takes. Like you've improved so much now, you're at the level where you're like, you know, Emperor, Tekken King or whatever, or like right Ryujin or, you know, at that rank, and I can't really get past that. How do you get past that? Well, you get past that by the way that you just said, right? You learn little things at a time every day. You know, you're playing a set and you say, hey, what's that on block? Oh, that's minus 13. Oh, what's that on block? Minus 12. Where do you step that? Oh, you step that left. And you play. And in small little chunks, you're learning. And, you know, that's the way to do it, right? You analyze yourself. But one thing that I should say as well, if you want to really improve, that people don't really talk about a lot, is realize why you lost, but also something which is equally as important, realize why you won. Why did I win?
It's really important. I remember one tournament when I go for the TAE Fighters tournament, one of my first tournaments after I was diagnosed with ADHD and after I started my medication and treatment, and I was fighting versus Karadolf and I lose. Then I had that situation that I've got another occasion to play with him in losers or something, and Boris asked me why you lost, and this question changed fucking everything because I realized why I lost, and because of that our next match was super hard for Karadolf. I lose, of course, because I was weaker player, but that was insane feeling, like, you know, like oh my god, it is like I understand why what I am doing wrong, and I started fixing it. And Jesus, that's really big. And that was one stupid question, yeah? Why you lose?
Yeah. Why did you lose? Yeah, exactly. So being able to analyze why you lost, like, it's, you know, it's funny, we talk about TAE tournament. When I was there with Baxi, you know, Baxi, one of the best players in Europe as well, from Spain, and he, you know, I was very good at coaching people, like telling people, kind of analyzing. This is one of the reasons why I feel like I really enjoy commentary, because I'm good at watching and analyzing people's playstyles, right? So I was watching him play versus an ogre player from Poland. I don't know what his name was. It was in the I think top 16 or something. And
okay.
Baxi looked at me and he was like, "Help me! I'm losing. What do I do?" So I was watching the match and I said, "Just do down forward one, and just do more down forward ones." And he
did
him more down forward ones, and he won because he just kept on down forward one. Because this guy kept on ducking into while standing launcher, duck while standing forward, duck while standing one. So I was like, "Just do down forward ones." And he did that and he won the set. So sometimes it can be that simple, right? Like just analyzing why you're losing and why the other guy's winning. But when I said analyze why you're winning too, look, I played Eddie back in Tekken Tag 2. My character was very strong. Very, very strong. And there were some people that just did not know how to play versus Eddie. A lot of people, actually. So when I beat someone, I don't say I'm better than that guy. Because I had this mindset, when I'm you know, playing, I'm like, look, Eddie's a strong character. Does this guy know the matchup? No, he doesn't. Can I abuse certain things? Yes, I can. And I abuse them and I win. And I'm like, look, I won the match, but I won it because I abused these certain tools. Now, versus the stronger players, I can't do that because they're going to know what to do. And I need to be ready for that. So when I play those guys, it's a lot harder for me. And if I beat those guys, then I analyze why did I lose or why did I win? Is because I played better. I just did this, I did that. And you have to always analyze why you win. Like, some people use in this game Lydia, some people use Vakumram, and some people, and it's like, why did you win? Did you win because you outplayed your opponent, or because you just did some good 50-50s? Like, or you just, you know, you guessed correctly? Because sometimes people are winning in tournament because of that. Sometimes people win because they just guessed correctly.
Yeah, casino payoff, yeah? Payoff.
Yeah, exactly. But if you only won because you guessed correctly, that's not sustainable. You can't keep on. You're not going to always guess correctly. So it has to come to a point where you look at your matches. You think, okay, I won because I guessed correctly, but what else am I doing that I'm doing well, and what else am I doing wrong?
And-
You always got to analyze everything.
And
everything.
you know what? It is super funny because in the past from season 2 I was playing Clay. He was my main, and basically you know how to play Lay. It is fucking blender. It is mix up into mix up. When I started like my new life after medication and ADHD basically on the stuff, I started to think, okay, let's change character because I am like winning because people don't know the matchup, and also I am not improving because I am non-stop mixing the opponent, nothing more. Then I switched to the Kazumi, Armor King, and I stopped on the Leroy. And it is not because Leroy is super strong, because in season 3 I dropped him because he was broken, but because I asked Friesen about character, because I was searching for the poke heavy character with good counter hits, and I asked Friesen for Steve. And he told me, don't play him, there is too big commitment and reward is too small. If you know how to play Leroy. And I changed to Leroy, and people started to yelling at me because, oh, he's strong, blah, 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 blah. But I realized one thing, that, okay, I can play poke heavy, I can play with small amount of moves, but the most important thing, it is super easy to analyze when I'm winning, when I'm losing. Because Lei has more than 300 moves, 13 stances, all that stuff, and there is one character. Okay, maybe he's super strong, but he's like compressed into few options. When I started to play Leroy, I buffed with entire cast I'm playing, like Lars, like with Noctis, Lei, Armor King, Kazumi, every character I'm playing. But that was interesting, like, in my opinion, when we like look at the fighting games, a lot of people like to be loyal to the character, and I was one of those guys. Like I've got fucking dog chains from Lei, from official cosplay, because official cosplayer was my boss in the previous company. Yeah, and when I switched the character, I felt really bad. But right now, in my opinion, I made the best decision in my life, because this game plan was not for me. Like, I was playing character I like visually, but this game plan was not for me. And I guess a lot of players, casual players, has this issue that they're playing Jin or Lars or, I don't know, Kazuya, Devil Jin, the strong but hard characters, maybe, without the Lars in this list, because they like the look of these characters, but they're not thinking about the game plan. Then they are losing and losing and losing. They are frustrated, and because of that, they are not going for being better player to get good, but they are still casuals, hard stuck on Brawler or Fujin or something. What do you think about this?
Yeah, exactly. Look, your ability to adapt to your opponent is the most important thing. You'll win games by throwing out launches and getting, being really aggressive. You might be able to get to Tekken King or Tekken God or something, but if you want to get consistent TGPs and start to easily beat people, it's when you can analyze what they're doing. What do they do on the floor? When they're on the floor, do they wake up straight away? Do they get up kick? Do they spring kick? Do they duck a lot when they wake up? Do they duck a lot in general? What moves are they throwing out? Do they jab? Do they jab or down forward one when I hit them, or when I, how do they play, right? You got to analyze them. And the one time I won a tournament in Tekken 7 when I don't play in a lot of tournaments, but there was an online tournament. I played against Sephi, I played against Crossfire, I played against Oracle, I played against a lot of people, right? And I won the tournament. This was a big stacked online tournament, and it's because I wasn't stressed, and I was able to analyze most of the games I played. I actually lost the first match, actually all of them pretty much. Every match, it was first to 2, and I lost the first game.
Korean style.
Because I stayed calm. I was like, okay, what did I do? Maybe I was doing 1-2 jabs too much, so I was too active in my frames and got counter hit too much. So let me just do the one jab, and I'll do this, I'll do that. Even versus Crossfire, Winners Finals, I was 2-0 down, and then I was okay, what do I do here? And I thought about it, and then I made a 3-match comeback. So it's like, when you're able to adapt, when you've played the game enough, certain information will just come to your head while you're playing. So when I'm playing ranked, sometimes I'll be doing something to someone, and I'll analyze. I'll be like, oh, so this is what you did after that. Okay, cool. I'll remember that for next time. It's all absorbing information. and then you use that information against them. And it's not an easy thing to do. Obviously, there's some people that are so good at doing that. You know, you look at people like Anakin and Arslan and the top guys in the world, me and these guys, they will. And if it's something Nin said, Nin, obviously, you know Nin, right? The Steve legend from Tekken.
Yeah, of course.
And Nin said it should only take you 2 rounds to really be able to understand everything about your opponent. Now, that's a different level. Like, I'm taking much more than 2 rounds to understand my opponent.
I need to play in FT5 to basically analyze my opponent.
Yeah. But he said, look, for him, it was 2 rounds. Once I've played you with 2 rounds, I know everything you're going to do. I know your playstyle. It doesn't matter if I play you in first to 10, first to 100. I know you after 2 rounds. And it's like, wow, that's the level that you need to be. And he's an Evo champion, right? So, like, that's the level. But, you know, you want to get to that. And the only way you can get there is by playing the game. Just play.
But also thinking about this, yeah?
And think about it too, but then at some point it'll become automatic. You'll just automatically start thinking about it. For me, I don't have to actively think about it. I just play, and while I'm playing, it automatically comes to me as I'm playing. So
yeah,
I've done it so many.
You are like stopping from time to time to think about one certain situation, but everything else is like automatic because you saw the situation a million times and you know what to do automatically.
Exactly, yeah.
In the situation.
And that's why, look, when I ask Asim, and look, Asim, obviously legend, I said to him, why are the Pakistanis so good? And you talk to any of the Pakistanis, man, about why they're good. And I think, look, it might be because I'm biased, but I do think that they're the best in the world with Korea. I think Korea and Pakistan are the best. And the reason why they're so good is because they are always playing the game. It's simple as that. They just keep on playing. Play.
About Pakistan, what is so special about this scene, like comparing to Europe? Because, like, you know, Bilal Kaka, but not displaying brand, but displaying clay, is inviting me from time to time to Pakistan to basically get good. And I'm thinking about this because this is super pricey, but I was talking with him about this scene and he taught me a lot of awesome shit. And it is the question for you. What is so unique in this scene?
So the community in Pakistan is very competitive, and the thing is that if you say that, you know, Poland is crazy about Tekken and Korea is crazy about Tekken, I don't think I've been to a country where there are more crazy about Tekken than Pakistan. There are so many cities in Pakistan. It's a big country, right?
Gigantic, but to be honest.
Exactly. In all of those countries, there are arcades, multiple arcades. I went to when the tournament happened, Takra Cup that we ran. It was in a city called Rawalpindi. Now, Pindi is like a little bit up north from Lahore, and Lahore is where Arslan and Bilal and Awais and they're all from Lahore. Lahore is the main hub of Tekken. But I was in a random city where we were doing the tournament, and in that city we went to an arcade, me, Fergus, Gosain, and Gosain was playing against a random Kazuya Hwarang player, and it was like very even. Like maybe this guy was winning a bit more. And the arcade was interesting because you had to kind of climb up a rope to get to the setups, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's like, what the hell? It doesn't even look like an arcade. It's just like a room with like a bunch of setups, and we don't. And like Arslan was like, yeah, they're not really good. They're not really that good over there, but they were going up like head to head with one of the best in Europe. You know, the thing is, there are so many arcades with so many hundreds and thousands of players, right? Like they're crazy about the game, and the reason is because I've mentioned this before. Arcade owners in Pakistan weren't wealthy enough to be able to pay for like the big arcade cabinets like Street Fighter and this and that. So Tekken arcade cabinets were kind of cheap. Same with KOF. So those were the games that Pakistan became really good at, KOF and Tekken, because the arcade cabinets were really cheap. Same in Mexico. Mexico became very good because they also were not that wealthy and they could buy these cheap arcade cabinets. So the reason why these guys are so good is because they've been playing since Tekken 3, Tekken 2, like the old Tekkens, and they have an arcade culture. When you have an arcade culture, those guys are always different. They're a different level. Look at Tishimon, look at Asim, look at Starscream, look at Dinosaur, look at Ryan Hart. Look at all these guys that grew up in the arcades. They're just a different level. Look at Anakin. Anakin grew up in the arcades. You know, Rip and all these guys. They all grew up in the arcades, and that's where they played. Bronson, Jimmy J. Tran. Like, yes. It's a different environment when you grow up in an arcade because, you know, you have your coin, and you want to make sure you use that coin to the best of its ability. That you don't want to lose it when you play and you lose, your coin is gone. You want to keep winner stays on. It's so competitive, right? You don't want to lose. And
on basically basic level, yeah, you are entering the arcade. You are playing versus like totally random guy. It is not even somebody good, and you want to win because this is your money. It is your like investment, real investment into game. Not only time, but also the money.
So it's offline, exactly. So it's offline, and you're using your own money, you know. And when you're a kid, you know, you don't have a lot of money either. So you know, you're playing.
You're grinding.
So like, yeah, exactly. You only got a limited amount of coins, and like, you want to make sure that you get as many games as you can out of it. So if you win 10 in a row, that's a good coin. You spent a coin for 10 games, but you have to get good first. So there's also the fact that it's offline means that if you play with people that you're friends, and you can learn from them. Look at the Koreans. I think that Korea was stronger before than they are now. Reason being because they are all PC gamers. When PC came out on Tekken, the arcade started to die out a little bit. There was no point going to the arcade anymore.
Yeah, because they switched basically to online play. And also the internet connection in Korea is super good, and because of that, it is a really good experience. Different, for example, Europe, yeah.
It's an amazing... I have done online Tekken in Korea, and it felt like offline. It was amazing. But the thing is, it's a different environment. You don't learn as much by playing online. If I'm playing you online and we're not talking, we're not sitting next to each other, it's a lot harder for me to help you, and a lot harder for you to help me.
Of course.
Because I might be able to be like, oh, what's that on block? And you'll be like, oh, it's -12. And I'll be like, okay, cool. Or how do I deal with that, man? And he's like, oh, you just got to sidestep. Or you can parry the second hit. Oh, okay, cool. And that's how you learn. But you can do that offline. You can't really do that online. Online, I won't be able to talk to you unless I'm on Discord. But even on Discord, we're not face to face. It's different, right?
Yeah, it is Asia.
So the way that these guys have learned, the competitiveness of the arcade culture in Pakistan is why they're so good. And the fact that they're just always playing the game. They're just always, every day playing the game. Their reactions are on point. You know, they surprised everybody, man. I told people, they laughed at me when I said it. They laughed when I said Pakistan were good and they would beat the Koreans. And they didn't. They laughed at me, and look what happened. You know, like we managed to do it.
That was easy for them, to be honest. Looking at all the stuff, but yeah, during the COVID times, I get maybe in other words, before COVID, we started to make offline events in Poland, like in a few cities. We was playing Tekken, Street Fighter. There was some kind of Guilty Gear, Smash, and all that stuff. And during this period of time, a lot of players like get good really, really hardly. And after that, COVID, as we know, shocked everybody and basically destroys a lot of scenes. For example, Smash in Poland. But we like converted in some way to play on Discord, and we've got few Discords in Poland, of course, but on one which is moderated by me, we are like playing with people, and there's a lot of young people, like, you know, starting in Tekken, like maybe maximum on Fujin ranks, and we are playing like every day, every evening with them on Discord, bigger and small lobbies, and we are talking about the matchups. And Jesus Christ, for me it is impressive how fast they are growing and how big it is for example, even for me, because I am not like maybe super good player, I am like a mediocre player on my scene, but it is super good option to basically ask somebody, okay, this string of Lily, what frames are on hit, where is the high on the stuff, and it is something like, I guess it is like definition of fighting games community in some kind. Like hype is the first one. Second one is basically being able to develop yourself. And some time ago you told me that it is somewhat strange for you to have like nearly 30 years, also being like married and playing fighting games. In my opinion, it is like hobby. It is like martial arts in some kind, because you are like developing through time. It is not like you're playing stupid games without any destination in that. It is like hobby and growing up. And we are, in my opinion, like the generation which is changing some kind of the looking at the games. And even if I I'm talking with my parents, yeah, which are 20 years. My mom is 20 years older than me. When I am a game tester. When I am testing the games for the 8 hours, then I am playing and streaming Tekken for 3 hours or 4 hours, and in the meantime I am like meeting with people, playing games, different games, or I don't know, doing any sport and all the stuff. And when I'm talking with parents and I'm telling them about my idea to make money, to basically work in such place, and when I'm talking about organizing tournaments, about, oh my god, there will be 12 players from the entire Europe, it is hyped, they're not understanding it, but they're starting to thinking about it, about not maybe playing the games and being, I don't know, childish, but about making a new path for career, new path for making something different. And if we look at the national esports organizations, which are like sending players for the big worldwide tournaments, national versus nations, yeah, it is some kind of this national duty that started in Poland, I guess, in the strongest way from the Counter-Strike, and there was a team. Oh my god, what is the name of this team? I don't remember. Okay, fuck it. But there was a big team, Russian team with Polish players inside, and everybody was hyped as hell. After some time, that like they burn out in some way. And right now the Polish community is super hyped. Like, I remember the Vigilant Fight Club 3 when Y beat Super Akuma. Oh my god, that was so fucking hyped moment on the scene. Then he was playing versus Joka. He lost first 3 games. That was like, everybody was super nervous about this. That fighting games are, basically games, are changing. People are changing also, looking at the games. And what do you think? Like, okay, maybe in other words, how it is in your experience, if you are talking with your, I don't know, family, with your friends who are not into games, what they are thinking about your profession, about being commentator, player, about making TO?
Look, my parents are very understanding. They understand that this is a growing industry, and maybe my mom doesn't like it too much because she's like, is it fulfilling for you and that kind of stuff, and are you going to get much out of it and this and that? But obviously my dad understands. My brother, of course, is also a producer. He produced with his team the Red Bull event that you saw, Golden Letters. He also done Tekken World Tour Master events. So he's done. My brother is one of the streamers of a lot of Tekken stuff that you see over the years, even in Pakistan, the big major we did there. He's me and my brother. My brother is one of the reasons why I am where I am as well. So he flew me around, paid for me to go to tournaments in Tekken Tag 2 when I didn't have any money, and I was just a student. And we've been together to travel to different places and do things for the community together. Without him, a lot of things that I'm able to do, I can't do. So family understands, because we're both kind of doing stuff in this community. But I understand that it's a community, it's an industry which is growing. It's the whole esports thing. But I am a little bit scared because there's been a conversation about how FGC shouldn't be esports, and like, we are our own entity, and we're opposed to the whole esports and this and that, and we want to keep our own identity and stuff. I feel I don't fully understand that argument. I personally feel like if there's people that come in with a lot of money, that can be nothing but good. Especially if it will ultimately trickle down to the grassroots level as well. So something like We Play, or to be 100% honest.
Oh my god, that was awesome event. Like Borsonic, when Borsonic is talking me about this event from the kitchen, how it looked, that is even more interesting for me than what I saw. And I saw super nice event. Like, there was nothing in the entire fighting games community similar to this stuff.
I don't think that, if you look at JDC on what he said in his analysis, I think he said it was one of the best tournaments he's been to. And I don't think I'll ever go to a tournament that's better than We Play. I don't think that in terms of, and I went there and I was ill, and people. I mean, I made a little twit longer about it. How there was a lot of blood involved. I had to go to the hospital 3 times in Ukraine.
Yeah, I heard about this.
I was not very well, but I still was looked after so well and managed to get through the tournament. No depression and stuff. It was bad, but it was the best tournament I've been to. It was so amazing, and I don't think I'll ever have an experience like that again. I don't know who can do it. Who can do a tournament like that again? No one, in my opinion. So my thoughts again go out to the We Play crew. I know that in Ukraine there's a lot of trouble happening there right now, but also just in general, outside of that, it's just mad love to them for just the stuff that they've done. And I'll go on record as saying that I feel that's a bit unfair what's happened to them, and they got a lot of flack for the whole 1xBet thing, even though ESL did the same thing, but they didn't get the same amount of flack. And it's like, it just bugs me because
the situation was basically shady from a lot of sides.
Yeah, but it's like they from what I know, they dropped them, and they if you actually met these people, the guys on production, the guys working there, they had very good intentions. They were very passionate, about the community, about FGC, about esports, and I think that could have been something that was super, super beneficial for our community. I hope that Ban and Namco and We Play can get on good terms again, because I would love for them to carry on doing something like Tekken. It's just good for our community. But anyway, yeah,
in my opinion, to be honest, we need the repetitive tournaments on that level of production. Maybe not equal, because I guess there was a lot of cash included to make it look like it looks. But in my opinion, our tournaments in Europe are basically basic. Right now, I am trying to make something bigger with Vigilant, but it is super hard to basically invent a lot of stuff from the scratch. I guess it is the reason why a lot of other tournaments also has the issues with that. But in my opinion, one of the best tournaments right now, repetitive tournaments, is the ICFC. Because it is online tournament. It is a lot easier to make online tournament than offline tournament, but the production quality is insane.
The production from 10-0 is always great. 10-0 have been doing tournaments for many, many years, and they're the guys that are in charge of the whole Tekken community when it comes to streaming Tekken World Tour and Evo and all these things. And whenever you see any of these big events, even Tekken World Tour finals, 17, 18, 19, that was all done by 10-0. So big shout out 10-0.
Out of experience also, yeah.
Yeah, and these guys have so much experience. They know what they're doing. They know that it's pandemic, so online tournaments are going to take the lead, and they took the lead with that, and it's doing really well. They get 200 plus entrants now for Europe, and it's
I know I was one of them.
yeah, exactly. So people enjoy it, and of course they got a good team here in Europe with the VP guys, with Mark, Richard, Aggie, and the crew to put on. My brother actually also was one of the guys who would stream ICFC for the European side. So in the previous season, my brother was one of the streamers for ICFC. So it's a very good project, and one that I appreciate a lot. So yeah, I mean, we're all just doing our little bit we can to keep the game alive,
Alrighty. What do you think we need right now to promote Tekken more in the terms of the tournaments and basically collecting the community? Looking at the entire Europe, what European players, organizers, content creators should do? Because at this moment, I can openly say that Tekken 7 is dev game. We are waiting for the next entry. Maybe there will be some kind of the patch. Maybe they will start some kind of, Tekken World Tour. Last one, we don't have any information about this. Maybe official information about this. And people are thinking that it is bad moment to basically make content for Tekken 7 because this game is dev, and in the short time I guess they will show the new game. But look at this, that Mayman was making a lot of content in the time when Tekken Tag 2 was dying, and because of the Tekken system and basically legacy support for all the stuff, a lot of these tournaments works well in Tekken 7. And I guess I guess it is a really good moment to start making content if you know something.
I think so. Yeah, no, it is, and I think what we need to do is carry on supporting things like ICFC and the Red Bull tournament that I did, and other stuff. You know, like these things help a lot. And you know, all of the guys like the local organizers, like the East London Fighters in the UK, and the Tekken France tour, and you know, the people all around Europe and in America and around the world that are doing tournaments, keeping the competitive scene going, the players that are entering these tournaments and supporting, you know, all of these are helping. But I think that, you know, big events need to happen as well, big rivalries. That's why I'm trying to create
Beefs.
USA. That's why, yeah, exactly. I'm trying to create like a storyline. I'm trying to, you know, get momentum going again. Pakistan was one of the biggest things that happened in 2019, and I want something like that to happen again. You know,
it is something pretty connected with FGC. Yeah, we have a lot of beefs. Like when I'm thinking about the old school fighting games, I am not thinking about the Daigo path. I'm thinking about some pseudo gangsters in New York fighting in Marvel 2 and, you know, pointing to each other with guns and basically, cursing on their mothers. It is for me like legacy FGC, and a lot of people wanted to recreate it in Poland, but it is not possible, to be honest. But I guess this vibe of playing in the base rooms, yeah, in the small places, and basically, I don't know, taking fun from games is something really important for us right now. To keep our identity, to keep our image of players, because we are not LoL, we are not Counter-Strike. It is nothing bad to not be this part of esport, but we are also like industry who will sooner or later become a big threat for the sponsors. And the question is, who will provide this stuff? People from FGC who are into this, or some foreign people who basically only want to make cash because of the popularity of the title? Like, League of Legends fighting game is coming. And if we will be not prepared for this boom of players, and for sure there will be a huge boom of players, that there will be another company who will do it to make this stuff happen without our vibe, without beefs, without all that stuff, which is really, really important for us as a community.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the future. I don't know what the future's going to hold, but I'm just here to do whatever I can do to help. You know, that's it. That's where I am. So
okay,
whatever happens from there.
What is your biggest dream looking at the fighting games, as a player and also as a commentator and TO?
My dream, I mean, I would have said before in the past to be able to travel the world and do things, but I've done that. You know, my dream now initially was to help USA and EU play each other. That really was one of my dreams in Tekken Tag 2, and I think that I'm about to do that now. You know, to witness that in Combo Breaker, and I helped it to happen a little bit at Red Bull. So those are my dreams. My dream now is just that Tekken 8 can hopefully be revealed, and we can continue doing what we're doing in Tekken 7, in Tekken 8, and just carry on growing our community. I want to go to other countries like I did for Pakistan and help to show off the talent there as well, in Africa, in Middle East and other places, and do what I did in Pakistan, you know. So that's my dream, you know, to just keep on showing the world just how big Tekken is, you know.
Yeah, my big dream is to make basically European Evo, even once. I'm not thinking on Poland, I'm thinking about Europe, to be a part, something like that. And Africa must be the next step. Yeah, it is good thing, which is Skytor Rush telling, like, people are thinking that was a good example of Akon, who beat, oh my god, Jimmy on tournament with Flay. Like, oh, he's from Africa. In Africa they are not able to play Bang. Jimmy dead, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of surprises, yeah?
Exactly, okay. And I want to go find out more.
For sure. Okay, which character you hate the most in the entire story of Tekken?
Julia, 100%.
This bitch, why?
Because she's the bitch. That's exactly why. I just hate Julia, bro. I hate her. Can't stand the bitch. Yeah.
Constantly bitch. Constantly Estier, like Devil Jean. Okay, and I guess your best character you are most into is Eddie, of course. Or maybe not.
Yeah. I think now, like online Kunimitsu, Zafina kind of, a little bit strong, but my go-to character is always going to be Eddie, 100%. My main character, yeah, 100%.
Well, they have to buff him because last time they buffed a number of his dreadlocks, time of the animation master, and all that stuff. Okay, what do you think about Tekken 7 and basically Tekken Future? Like in my head right now, there are only 3 scenarios we can follow. The first one, I guess the easiest one, is to make Tekken 8. The more complicated is to publish Tekken vs Street Fighter, or maybe Tekken vs KOF, Tekken vs Virtua Fighter, Tekken vs something, because they got really good training point right now in Tekken 7 to check different things, how they are like fitting into the Tekken system. And the third thing is the path of Mortal Kombat, rebooting everything.
I think that a reboot, like going back to Tekken 1, 2, 3 or whatever, like the story and going back in time might be something that they might do. And I think I would be 100% down for that. That would be so cool if that's what they do.
And also there will be a good way to basically fix hitboxes. There will be a good option to, like, change meta, to change characters, to include new characters, new ideas, because I love Tekken, because Tekken is legacy heavy, but also it is the biggest issue of Tekken, that this game is legacy heavy, because there's a lot of stuff. It is like Windows versus Mac. If you look at the Mac is always fresh. People are developing applications and stuff for Mac because Mac is easy to understand and buff into it. And Windows has a lot of stuff from fucking DOS times because they was unable to clean this stuff up. And I guess Tekken is in similar situation. Like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat made that. They are constantly refreshing Street Fighter from iteration to iteration to experiment with new things. Looking at the Tekken, only fresh thing we've got in the past was tag system. Nothing more okay, there was a little change in combo system. We've got also the wall combos, all that stuff. Right now we've got armors, we've got combat mechanics, which are good, in my opinion, but we got a lot of mess in this game, inconsistency, and this inconsistency is throwing people away from Tekken. If they're going, if pro players from, for example, Street Fighter want to play Tekken, they are trying to learn this game. There's a lot of stuff to learn, but they are quickly realizing that there's a lot of mess in this game to deal with. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of if they were to bring out the Street Fighter game, because they've experimented with Akuma and 2Ds and it didn't go well. There was, in my opinion, there are so many inconsistencies which I think if they knew about it now they would fix, but it's too hard now. I think I'm not sure what I trust Namco to do a good job, but whatever they do, but I would personally just like to see a fresh new Tekken, just with whichever characters we have, just as long as it keeps the core mechanics of the game, which your sidestep, your
backdash movement, basically, yeah.
Backdash movement, blah blah blah.
With punishing. Mm-hmm.
Not a big fan of power crushes, but I don't mind if they stay. Not a big fan of rage drives either, being plus on block and huge damage, but again, don't mind. But yeah, just in general, I'm just excited to see what they're gonna do. Hopefully no 2Ds. That's not me hating or anything, just me saying that it's not really fun for me personally. That's my personal opinion. But if they are gonna add 2Ds in the game, then they should make them very weak. In my opinion, I think they should make them
maybe not weak, but to look at this, in my opinion, the main issue with the Akuma, Geese, and Eliza is not the fact that those characters are good or bad, but the aspect that the system is not even the translation is not wealthy. If you're playing, for example, the Street Fighter, yeah, and you're playing versus Akuma, you have a lot of stuff to like deal with projectiles, to deal with jumpings, to deal with, I don't know, demon and all that stuff. And in Tekken, there is a lack of this. Okay, there is few characters, like for example Leroy, which are dealing with, for example, Akuma really well, because you can like press back one and anti-air for full combo and all that stuff. But that should be like universal mechanic, like jab, like down forwards one, like I don't know, like universal throws. And I guess it is a big fuck up in the Tekken 7 that they didn't think about it. Like, look at the Akuma at the beginning. Akuma was like powerhouse, but nobody knows about that. Why? Because they translated Street Fighter 4 Akuma into Tekken, but they didn't realize that how many stuff this character can do if you start to think like in Street Fighter, not like in Tekken. And I guess it's also the idea, the problem why Geese was also big threat and why Ni was playing him a lot. It is a big problem, because if you are not thinking about it, you can develop shit basically. And maybe if they implement the new characters, 2D characters in the future games, they will also, make some counterplays for them. Because right now, if you are like a casual player, you are starting to play and you are playing versus Akuma who know what he's doing, you're dead. Because he's not playing Tekken. It is nothing bad, but you are not learn how to counterplay this style.
Yeah, 100%. I think that these characters should not be called 2D, they should be called 4D, because they have sidestep, they have backdash, they have, all of that, plus they have jumping. So they have so many more dimensions to work with, actually. So
yeah,
it's something that hasn't been balanced correctly, in my opinion.
Michael Biker arrived.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I agree with the chat as well that the character should be weaker.
Yeah, it is a good idea basically, because if you got the bars and everything, you have really big comeback potential, and you can use that to win, and it's good. Like you've got. It is like Lei, yeah? You've got character which is mainly focused on the mind games. Lei itself is not super good character, but if you know how to play like Lei, Yoshimitsu, you can win with those. And I guess that should be the same, like Marksmith skill to play Akuma and Geese in this game, in Tekken, for example. And if you look at, for example, Street Fighter 5, they introduced Akira, for example, which is character from a completely different series. And this translation was good. Well, it is not like it is too hard to make good translation from system to system, but the Namco just don't give a fuck, I guess. In those situations, maybe in future they will be better, but I don't know. Like for me, the big problem also are the guest characters, and it is nothing like it is something wrong in the characters, but today a lot of players has a character crisis. Because if you are playing Noctis, for example, or Nigan, or Geese, or Akuma, or I don't know, any other character that maybe will be introduced in the series on was like Gon in the past, yeah? Those players don't really have any option for future, and they have to change character to basically prepare for the next game. But from the other hand, there is no announcements on anything yet.
The thing is that there's been that can be even the case with Tekken Tag 2. I didn't have Eddie when the game came out, and a lot of people just played Eddie. I played other characters too, but I was lucky I could play Law, I can play any. But some people just play Eddie, so what do? Spirogen didn't have Eddie, so he went to Paul, and then he started beating people with Paul, right? So the good thing is that these guest characters have brought in new players, maybe, and those players will have played Noctis and these other characters. They're specialist characters, right? But they will just have to choose a different character when the game comes out, and I'm sure they will. I did. When the game came out, Tekken 7, I picked Katarina. Katarina was my main character for a while.
Yeah, I remember that you played with Devil, even.
Yeah.
There is one video on YouTube and you're playing with him and you won this set.
Yeah, he doesn't know the character, so it didn't really count. But yeah, I mean, Katarina I chose because you gotta adapt. And look, they did a lot of patches. They change characters, they nerf characters, and I had to just keep on picking different characters. So, I'm sure they'll do that too. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and looking at the two best Polish players, like for me, Friesen and Y, they are like multi-character specialists. Okay, if you look at the Friesen, he's always playing Steve. If you're looking at the Y, he's always playing Akuma. But as we know, Friesen in the past played a lot with, for example, Lee, Armor King, Lars, because he's super known because of his Lars in Tech 2 and Tekken 6. And Y also plays a lot of other characters, traditional characters like Heihachi, Ina, and that stuff. He even won one online tournament in Poland with Marduk. And I guess it is nothing bad to like basically switch the characters if you want to become better.
Yeah, no, not an issue. I mean, if people want to go that way, they can. But I feel like character specialists are quite good as well. But
yeah, knowing another archetypes is quite good option. Like if you have the bad time versus a King and Armor King, just play one of those for a while, and understand what player of this character want to do in neutral to counter it and all that stuff. It is like, for me, it is supernatural to think like that in these categories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
To basically switch, yeah.
They can definitely, just pick a different character and learn them, man. Like a lot of people in the game now, so like Kira's doing. Kira's playing so many different characters now. He played Eliza for a long time.
His Nina is awesome.
Exactly. He's ready for any character now when the game comes out. People should be doing what he's doing. Play different characters. Learn.
Basically have fun from it, yeah, from the process of learning, because if you are not winning right now, you can win for, in the next year, in 2 years. It is like every person has his own time to buff. Like there is a lot of not neurotypical people, yeah, and their path is completely like another than looking at the neurotypical people, like like you, for example. And it is nothing bad that somebody is learning slower. It is our path, and the only thing we have to do is to become better and better in terms of being like yourself. But okay, I guess I will have the last question because it is 2 hours and your throat is painful, I guess, because as we told that you got the injury after ICFC, latest ICFC. Who for you is the best player from the old FGC, old Tekken in Europe, and also who is one of the best new cats on the stage?
Devil 100% best. I'm not even just saying that because you're Polish. I believe that, and I'll tell that to anyone. Devil is the best in the old FGC, 100%. And the best new player. If we're saying Tekken 7 new, it could be Chicken Maru, because he's from when it comes to people who started in Tekken 7, you'd have to say him, although that was 5 years ago now. So if we're talking about new school, like started recently, maybe Richie. I think that I played him recently, so he was insanely strong when I played him, so I was like, wow, he's improved quickly. So it might be a bit of bias there. I don't know about any other new players. There's a lot of strong Germans too, but
yeah, Tatsu, for example, yeah, that's super strong. Yeah,
I would say Tetsu and Richie are two guys that I would say from the new school are the best. Yeah,
and talking about one of our favorites, remember, Godfist should be -12 on block. Bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chicken Mario, 100%.
Yeah, Spag, are you going to cast next ICFCU? Mastach is asking.
Yes, maybe. I mean, I normally get asked quite last minute, like, hey Spag, do you want to jump on? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's but I think I might be doing it. I'm not sure. Like, they haven't told me. I haven't got anything confirmed. But it's always fun when I do. So maybe I will. If not, then maybe I'll compete. Who knows? So we'll see.
Okay, chat, if you have any questions, it is good time for you to basically ask everything about. And like I'm thinking about the next tournaments. I'm going for the versus fighting it is in August, I guess. And
have you been to UK before?
No, it's my first tournament, and to be honest, I have to make my passport, all that stuff, because European Union stuff and UK. It is painful, but we have to do it. But Jesus Christ, I am super hyped. Even if I lose, there is a lot of people to basically talk with. Like, I feel that...
A lot of casuals as well.
Yeah, I feel that the moment when I started to make the international tournaments, starting from the onlines, going then for the Vigilant Fight Club, I like discovered the European scene, like in all. And a lot of people I basically, like started talking with, playing with, and it is insane. Like, I opened the new chakra basically for my entire story of Tekken player. Like, I was thinking all the time that I am only the bad player in Poland. There is nothing more. There is some kind of the players in the, I don't know, the foreign player, like for example Spag or Rukang and a lot of people. Then you're staying with these people, like face to face, playing with this guy, like playing with Vicky, for example. Then I was making Tombstone on Borisonic. Tombstone? Yeah, Tombstone. That was fun, to be honest. But like, I don't know. We are thinking in the categories of borders all the time, about the scene, about the fighting games. But there is no borders, and the moment when we realize that there is no borders to basically go and play with players from outside your country, that everything will change. Like, it is insane. EU 10 versus 10 draft stream when, Spag?
I think I want to do it a bit later because Combo Breaker is still like over a month away. I think that I'm not gonna do it too early. I thought I wanted to do it early, but I'm gonna wait a little bit, maybe do it in May, like to create a bit of hype. If I do it now, then we will wait 2 weeks and it's gonna be a little bit less hype. So let's wait and see. Maybe some more people will come and join us in Combo Breaker in the EU team, and then we can have a real good stream, leading up to it, talk a lot of shit, and have a lot of fun. So I think I'll do it in May. I probably wouldn't do it for the next couple of weeks at least.
And who is the biggest threat for you in this tournament, in this EU versus USA, on the side of USA? Who
Joey.
Anakin and Joey, yeah. Okay.
100%. Those are the main two guys. Anyone else is not a threat. No one else is a threat. I don't think so. I think Shadow is definitely there too, but we have Tetsu. We have they have Emily, we have Chikimaru, they have Junior, we have Kira. Like, our players are better. So like, I don't think that we have much to worry about, to be honest.
Speaking on Tetsu told me like a week ago that for him the best player in the entire Europe is Strog. What do you think about this?
I think he could be right. I haven't played Strog myself, so I don't know, but I think that Strog could be the best in Europe, yeah. Just the thing is, I haven't seen him play offline much, and I want to see that before I can make my mind up 100%. I'm a massive fan of Strog, and I want to see him more. And I've even been in contact with him to try and get him to Combo Breaker, but I don't think it's going to happen now because of the whole conflict.
Politician.
But I am a supporter of Strog and the Russian scene, so anything that I can do to help those guys, if they need my help for anything, then they're always welcome to message me. But yeah,
You're basically big daddy, who everybody can basically ask you for everything, and you will come, approach, and basically talk about stuff. I guess I want really to like talk with you and play with you when you will be in Warsaw, in the old capital for the Vigilant. But to be honest, I guess I will throw the idea for like inviting you for our offline to, like, playing of FGC with to feel this vibe of sitting next to the guy who is drinking the shot of vodka oh my god, after every round, Jesus Christ, my language, and all that stuff. It is like something nice to feel, like, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be good vibes. I think I need that as well. I might need to experience that, like, just to have the fun. It's been a long time since I've been able to travel a lot, so
yeah,
I'm down to come. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to
I also started to ask like people from UK, not only UK but from the Europe about offlines, like for example Kamil, which is, as we know, Mr. Croft, and a lot of people, and everybody is like, okay, come on, closer, play with me, come on, because everybody's hungry for the offlines. Like, it is insane. And also, I guess a lot of players also basically stopped playing. Like, before COVID in Warsaw, when I was making the offlines, that was like about 25 players. Like for Tekken and other games, right now it is hard to complete 6 people. Like people are stopping playing Tekken, and maybe because they are tired, and also there is no such tournaments in the recent times because of COVID, because of war and all that stuff. Because this war also is the thing that like destroyed a lot of things, a lot of sponsors in entire Europe and I guess entire world basically step aside to like move their fundings from sponsoring the games to like helping people. I guess it is a good PR move, but it is painful for such communities like fighting games, for example, which is niche. Yeah,
definitely.
But I was a really big fan of this tournament that was happening for show matches tournament for Ukraine. That was amazing hype and a lot of cash collected. It was super fun idea to make it.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, mate. Well, I guess it is time to go. It's time to end this stuff. Maybe we can play some games. Don't know if you want to. If you are
I need to I need to go and open my fast now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
But I guess
but then I'll be back so we can play later on.
I guess we'll do it. But thank you very much for being a guest, the first guest of mine here, and thank you also for helping me because you helped me a lot of stuff, a lot of moments right now because my narration is maybe not super good, but I'm starting. And
it's very good, man. Very good.
Meh. There's a lot of place for development, but I guess I want to have a guest every Friday to talk about fighting games, and I guess you can be my master of puppets to help me choose who is worth inviting, because why not? Because we are one community. Why not?
Just message me, dude. You know, Mama, DMs are always open. Thank you for having me on this interview. It was really fun. Thank you. I never get interviewed, so it was always fun to have to talk about myself.
Spag Sensei.
Thank you, chat, for tuning in as well. Yeah, man. Much love to all of you guys. I'm gonna open my fast now, but I'll be back, and maybe I'll do a stream. I don't know.
Okay, I want to be a guest, and also I will publish this interview on YouTube, of course. But I will add a lot of funny stickers and all that stuff, and Skytor Rush, who is hyping all the time. Like Skytor Rush is really liking you. I can see that. He's a moderator, yeah.
He's a legend. He's a tournament organizer. He does everything.
I know.
He's a gem for our community.
I remember that we was playing once on Rankeds, and I talked to him about the matchup, and he told me that, I am TO. Oh my fucking god, you too? And we started to talk, and love is big through this time. Okay, thank you very much for being part of this beautiful show. Now I will go to play Tekken for a while. Spag, you're a legend. Thank you very much for help, for the support for the Polish community, and I guess we'll see each other at the 7th of May on Vigilant Fight Club.
I look forward to it. Thank you for having me on. Yes, and I'll hopefully see you there next month for the tournament. Again, let's keep in contact, and guys at the stream
okay.
Chat, thank you for watching. Take care, man.
Okay, for me there will be a quick break, and Spag, please do not end this call. Okay, quick break. Give me 5 minutes maybe.